British Columbian man named Kevin Gowie has come to Rebel News for your help after a mainstream media news outlet falsely depicted him as a neo-Nazi and then refused to publish an adequate correction. I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News, and you're going to have to pick your job off of the floor after you watch this report in full, which includes footage Rebel News has obtained of Black press media journalist Jacqueline Jeleno making Christophobic remarks while doubling down on her hit propaganda piece against Kevin. We've also started a petition at our website called StopMSMLies.com, MSM standing for Mainstream Media. Head there to help out Kevin and join others by holding this journalist accountable.
And if you were there, you know that there was no Nazi salute.
I was there, and I couldn't say that there was no
Then
Nazi
why
salute.
would you?
Could you say there was?
Why would you produce something if you don't have some facts?
The story said that it was apparent. It didn't say it was. So
You were
there's
there.
a distinction there.
You were there.
That's not
That's
the point.
correct.
Even if it's apparent, the inference and the picture you used are of me.
Yes. It's not always my job to report strictly on facts. What I am also supposed to do is to share people's experiences and emotions of what's happening.
And you know that there's video footage, lots of it, showing us praying and several of us in worship. You know that, right?
I have seen the video footage of the event.
And of the prayer.
That's
And you
correct.
still stand by, at this point, you're standing behind your allegation that that was a Nazi salute. Having seen that footage, that's what you're saying to us right here?
I'm saying that it appeared to be a Nazi
Appeared.
salute.
Does it still appear to be that now that you've seen the footage of the prayer? You've said you've seen the footage.
Yeah,
Does it still appear? Do you stand by what you said?
that's correct, sir.
You do.
Meet Kevin Gowie. He's a concerned grandparent in Kelowna who joined one of 92 city demonstrations during one of the largest parental rights movements in Canadian history on September 20th. That protest was called the 1 Million March for Children, and attendees there oppose the sexual indoctrination of kids happening in schools, which is aided by progressive sexual orientation gender identity programs like Western Canada's SOGI 123, which among other things normalizes children being able to access sexually explicit books in schools like the ones you're seeing on the screen. We've seen it before, where peaceful protesters who vocalize an opinion that differs from the state end up with having the state's media demonize their message by smearing them as some sort of far-right extremists, or in the case of today's report, a Nazi. This is Jacqueline Jeleno. She works for Kelowna Capital News, which is owned by news giant Black Press Media, who is no stranger from taking financial handouts from the Trudeau government. Perhaps that's why, despite Jeleno admitting to Gowie that she was present during the protests, she still felt comfortable enough to depict him and other Christians as engaging in a Nazi salute when in fact they were engaging in a moment of Christian prayer. Her trash title read, "Kelowna residents shocked by apparent Nazi salute at anti-SOGI march." The moment of prayer she smeared was led by local Harvest Ministries pastor Art Lucier.
Can we say a prayer to the Father, to God, right now, protection? We say, God, would you protect us? Would you give us a backbone? Would you help us to stand for what is right, for this nation, and for our kids, this day forward, in Jesus' name, amen.
Now, I'll have an interview with Pastor Art and Kevin Gowie coming up soon, but in this report, which also serves as a call to action for you to open up another device and pop over to StopMSMLies.com to sign our petition, I'm going to share with you some of the shocking footage we've obtained from Gowie after he and a friend confronted her to try to get her to correct her falsehoods and to issue an apology, starting with her admission that Gowie and his friend weren't the first to complain about her journalism.
So how can I help Jacqueline?
So Jacqueline, do you know me?
I don't know.
Have you ever met me, seen me?
I don't believe so.
Then you assume that we're here about the article, why is that?
Because we've received multiple complaints about the article that I wrote. So that's what I'm assuming. We had someone come by yesterday. I've received multiple phone calls and emails. We typically don't have people come to the office.
Right. Seems you've hit a nerve,
Speak.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now listen to Jellinal defend her article at the truth's expense.
It's not always my job to report strictly on facts. What I am also supposed to do is to share people's experiences and emotions of what's happening.
Part of your journalistic process is to give everybody a voice.
That's right.
Where was my voice? You just put a picture out and framed me as a Nazi. Where was my voice?
It gets worse. Instead of committing to publish the truth he's made very clear, Jacqueline Jellinal chooses to blame the victim of her propaganda by telling Kevin, well, he prays incorrectly.
So what did he do that harmed other people?
Making that hand gesture.
And you know this hand gesture was a Nazi salute.
No, but it is something that is associated with that. Sir, if you made that hand gesture that was in no way associated with the Nazi party, if you were, just raising your hands, palms up, nobody would have thought that my article would have been laughed at, because there would have been no way there was a correlation. The reason this has struck a nerve and the reason this has stuck is because it looks like you're doing a Nazi salute in the photo. That's the reason.
Excuse me, I have a question. Do you attend a church?
No, sir.
Have you ever attended a church?
Yes.
And have you ever seen people putting their hands up during worship songs or during prayer?
I've never seen that hand gesture made.
You've never seen anybody put their hands up while they're
I've
praying?
seen this. I've seen this. I've seen palms up always.
And what did you see?
I've never seen this.
And that's you're showing us what you believe he did right there.
That's correct.
Okay.
Can you believe that? Now, as a Christian, I've seen many times over other Christians raise one hand in the air to worship or pray, especially when they're holding something else in the other hand, like a Bible, or in this case, Kevin's holding a protest sign. Nevertheless, Gowie gives her the benefit of the doubt by extending an invitation for her to see how Christians pray at his church. You'll never believe how she responds.
Like just as a single, like a woman on my own, that people won't be physically violent or anything like that. Is that correct? If I attend, I just have to ask for my safety.
You're joking, right?
Okay, good. I'm glad.
No, I'm dead serious. That had to be a tongue-in-cheek comment. You obviously don't actually understand what love, deep love, and care and compassion is. You clearly have no idea.
Well, sir, I do have to ask because I'm being invited to attend something. I'd be going alone. I have to make sure, okay? Just for my own safety, that's all. That's all I'm asking.
Will I be safe, she says? Will Kevin be safe after her journalism depicted him to his neighbors, his peers, and strangers as a neo-Nazi? Are Christians or parental rights protesters safe against propaganda that paints their right to peaceful protests and to practice their religion as acts of hate? And what about Kelowna's Jewish community? Did they feel safe after reading an article that made them believe people against the sexual indoctrination of children are also Holocaust supporters? And how does that belief then piggyback onto some of the concerns they might be having from the rise of actual hate spreading across Canada since the Hamas terrorist attack on Israeli people on October 7th? Jacqueline Jellinal has a literal fear of Christians in a house of Christian worship, which makes her a literal Christophobe, and it shows in her journalism. We've obtained close to an hour-long piece of footage of this nauseating journalist excuse herself from adequately correcting her story, and you can find more of that footage at stopmsmlies.com. But it appears that after some of the complaints, Kelowna Capital News did make some changes, but not in the way you would think, and the changes are not reflected on by all of the black press media outlets that publish the same story. Kelowna Capital News has since blurred Kevin's face with an excuse that I'm not buying. Their title now reads, Police Investigate Apparent Nazi Salute at Kelowna Anti-Soji March. And an editor's note at the bottom now reads, As police are investigating this incident, the photo has been blurred until more information becomes available. Except they forgot the word bin. Well, I reached out to the RCMP and guess what? More information is available. The type of information I would imagine the RCMP gave to any journalist that reached out to them already. Their media relations corporal says, there is no report to police corroborating an alleged Nazi salute from September 20th in Kelowna. Our office was provided a single image of a male, a child, another unknown individual with a hand up at the event from a reporting agency with a similar inquiry to yours. I wonder what news agency sent them those photos. Could it be one that's panicking about their bogus article, thinking it may be exposed, and instead of just correcting it like they would do if they had integrity, they send the police pictures without context of Christian prayer so that they can change their title and editor note to make it look like the RCMP got the Christians are Nazis propaganda piece so wrong. Not them. But listen to Jacqueline's take on what happened.
So you provided that and reported that you believed it was a crime that had been committed.
Oh, no.
Then why did you report? Why would the police involved?
Because I sent it to them. I said, is this something that you are investigating? Is this something that you're looking into?
And
like,
what was the
this?
response from them?
They said we weren't aware of it, and then, but since then, so that was prior to the article being published, and then since then, they told us that they're going to be investigating it.
And what offense are they investigating?
Hate speech.
And here's the kicker. The corporal adds this. Several uniformed officers were also on site monitoring this event, and no officer observed any individual raising their hand in this context, nor were they approached by any witnesses claiming the same. Shame. Now, I practice real journalism with this report, unlike Jacqueline, who never even reached out to Kevin. And I reached out to Jacqueline and CC'd her editor, Ashley Wadwani. The editor responded. And you'd think that respond would be a one of shock and horror that says, oh my goodness, I can't believe this came out. We will correct this immediately. But that's not what happened. Instead, Wadwani dug her heels in too. But she basically says that they published what is accurate and what they believe is newsworthy, respecting the event, reactions, and aftermath. She also blames Kevin Gowie's lack of trust for their organization, which resulted in him being uncomfortable with sharing his name with him when he went in to ask them to take it down. She says that it gave them the judgment call that he wouldn't give more of his information, even though they could see his face. Wadwani finishes with the audacious invitation for me to do her job for her by letting her know if there's any new news available, like the news she already got from Kevin or could have easily gotten from the RCMP if they didn't already have it. Well, here's me doing my job for you, Ashley, and for Jacqueline Gelano, in the form of a call to action for people who are tired of the lies they are hearing from mainstream media. And if that's you watching, go to stopmsmlies.com. Sign our petition demanding that Kelowna Capital News and Black Press Media do right by the parental rights protesters, the Jewish community, the Christian community, and Kevin Gowie by correcting their article and pinning that correction to the front page of every outlet that published this bogus propaganda hit piece. Go to stopmsmlies.com. Enough is enough. These lies must stop, and the fear-mongering media outlets that are pushing division in our society must be held accountable. Go to stopmsmlies.com, sign and share this petition far and wide, demanding integrity from this outlet. And if you appreciate this report, please donate a few bucks to help cover our expenses here at Rebel News. Thank you very much.